Due to suggestive adult themes and dialogue, this podcast is intended for adults. In other words, the truth is ugly, so we get ugly right along with it. Everything we say is out of love for ourselves, our people, and our community. Sincerely, the Green Route Podcast.
And stop the damn dancing. Act like you got some goddamn sense, people.
Black people don't hope, we wish. We wish a motherfucker would be in our shit.
As far as I'm concerned, they could burn this bitch to the ground. And it still wouldn't be enough. And they are lucky that what black people are looking for is equality and not revenge.
Would like to welcome you all to the Green Route Podcast, episode 32. I am GS.
And I'm Marlissa. I'm trying to figure out what this sultry voice is that GS is giving us.
It's your Founders Day, so
Okay.
this is real. This is real. This is legit. This is a special day.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Don't be trying to serenade me now.
Look, shout out to all the Deltas,
all the Reds.
all the beautiful Reds, the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta. I just like to let you know that I'm here to provide information and politics and whatever you need.
Whatever else you may need.
I'm just talking shit,
Let me
y'all.
find out you got a thing for the Reds.
I am just joking. Happy Founders Day to all the Deltas.
Thank you, baby.
Especially the ones that I love and care about.
Yes.
Mel.
There are others.
There are others for sure.
Yeah.
Shout out to all of them. We love y'all. Shout out to the Deltas from UT, Epsilon Beta chapter. Shout out to them.
My boy know the chapter.
You know what I'm saying? That's fam. Yeah, that's
I love
fam.
it.
That's fam.
That's what's up. Yeah, it's to be honest, I woke up this morning and didn't even think about Founders Day. It wasn't until I went for a run and our mutual friend, we were like taking a picture and she's like throwing up the mid and I was like, oh shit, today is Friday the 13th. That's right. Like, okay, so yeah, I'll be outside a little bit later tonight. Soccer Steve, our good friend here in Dallas, who's a noob, he's gonna be hosting a Founders Day celebration for the Deltas here in Dallas. So exciting stuff, but it's stuff like all weekend because the AKAs, their Founders Day is Sunday, so it's just season. It's that season right now.
So brothers, if you're looking to spend money and buy drinks,
we will have it.
This is the weekend where they will be the most receptive, and they might talk back to you. They might, but they probably might be busy. So
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but just be around because you never know.
Just go to the party.
Just go to the party.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up to something.
That's it.
I'm leaving here with something.
Yeah, these ladies got money to spend. They'll probably have a section already, so you ain't even really.
You at the garden?
Yeah,
pulling up.
Come on, like,
show love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 1 or 2 bottles per table.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
this is going to be the weekend, fellas, where I think y'all are going to be spoiled because we done already spent the bread to buy the sections and the bottles. So.
And don't get me wrong, I know that y'all love sisterhood and celebrating your years of accomplishments, but
Absolutely.
I can absolutely for sure say that a lot of you all would be happy to see some good looking brothers, positive, high value brothers.
Come on, high value. We are co-opting that word. We're co-opting the term.
Again, healthy, high value brothers.
Yes, it's not just about money.
I'm sure they would love to see us in the space.
100%. So. The same way we go out and support the fraternities for their Founders Day, we also love to have our brothers in the space with us. And you don't have to be Greek. That's the thing. Like, it's just a recognition of the culture and what the Divine Nine has been to the community. So would love y'all come out. We're at the Garden tonight. I think Kiss is doing something, Sambuca. But this is a worldwide celebration. There are 250,000 of us all across the earth.
Y'all the biggest? We
may not be the biggest, but I at some point we spanned across more countries than any other sorority. I don't know if that's still true because I ain't gonna even lie. I kind of been an 8-shit Delta for a few years now. But
look up, she all and she's up to date on politics.
That's right.
World events.
But I'm.
But you know what?
But you know what? If
a
the
membership card
calls,
needs to be up.
if they call and they need me to do this for the sorority, I'm 100% there. Like, if they want the green route at the next Delta Sigma Theta convention, which I believe is going to be in Houston, we pulling up. Like,
I'll be there.
Yeah, we're pulling up. So if there is something I can offer to my sisterhood, I'm always happy. So I've never really been hard on myself about not doing a lot of the other things because, like, we do this and we're really good at it. And so this is the thing that I like to offer,
That's the way
when
it
it's
should
needed.
be.
Yeah.
You figuring out your lane, figuring out the niche, and pushing towards it.
Yeah, so. I'm not the one to ask to run the local daycare, right? But if you want to talk about ideas and like moving, the world and culture forward, we here. So Delta Sigma Theta, if you do need the green route at the next convention, we will truck on down to Houston.
We will gladly come down and be a part of it. We will gladly
with the ladies in crimson and cream. So
yeah.
All right, let's get into it. All right, so y'all, we are going to start with some quick hits. Thank you for the feedback. We found out that y'all really like these. Just something we think you should know real quick. So let's get into it. All right, so I'm going to let Gabe start off. Lisa Marie Presley died.
So Lisa Marie Presley has passed away, the daughter of Elvis Presley. I want to say one of Michael Jackson's beloved exes. Again, the point that I took from it was the fact that black people ain't mad at her. Like, we know Elvis wasn't shit in terms of co-opting the culture and not really fully giving credit to Chuck Berry and all that. But we didn't allow the sins of the father to visit the daughter. R.I.P. that woman. Also, small thing, a cousin of theirs is actually running for governor of Mississippi. So he's trying to oust Tate Reeves. He's called him out by name.
Shit.
I'm rooting for the Presley family in this regard for sure.
Okay, so it sounds like the generation after may be decent.
They might be doing something better. I mean, maybe so.
I mean, it don't get no worse than Tate Reeves. So at this point, we'll let the elephant that fucked that lady up in Indonesia come run the country.
That's what needs to happen.
The state.
For sure.
All right. This one, y'all, is just kind of crazy. There is an animal on the loose in Dallas. It escaped from the Dallas Zoo. Is it a leopard?
It's a I don't know what it is. It's like some kind of cat. It's some kind of cat, y'all.
It's a dangerous ass cat.
They done shut down the zoo because it's loose.
Yeah, so Dallas PD and I believe Animal Control are out looking for this cat. Be safe. When I read it.
Don't feed the wild animals. Don't feed them. That's the best advice I got.
Let me tell you, if somebody rolls up on this cat and tries to feed it, who do you think you are?
I don't know. I mean, this is not Ricky Bobby. You do not drive faster with a bear cat in your car.
Right.
Just leave it be. But it's just interesting because, again, the zoo is a modern day animal plantation.
Yeah.
Free all of my animals.
Yes.
Free all of my animals. Let them go home. Yeah.
I don't really need to see a leopard that bad.
Nah.
I've lived here for years and I have yet to be in one zoo in Dallas.
And let me be clear here. Zoos are one thing, but sanctuaries, spaces that are designated for animal and wildlife.
Yeah,
I support those because, again, there are a lot of people who want to tear down trees and tear down all those areas and all that. And we do need spaces specifically for animals. But zoos, I don't know. Ever since I saw that documentary about Free Willy, I've kind of been
Blackfish. That was fantastic. I think they won some awards for that one. That was good. So yeah, y'all in Dallas, if you see a strange large cat, just go inside. Just go inside. Shut it down. Diamond from
not Diamond from Players Club.
Yeah, not Players Club. What was her buddy's name?
Diamond and I was going to say something wild.
Diamonds and Pearls is what I was about to say.
Peaches.
Shout out to Prince.
Okay, so the duo the two black women that were supporting Trump, very vocal. He brought them out to rallies. One of the two members has passed away. And apparently she's passed away from COVID.
Yes.
So
she was a denier.
The irony behind that was that she called it a hoax. She was against it. And there was a pastor who actually came out and talked about it. People was like, you should be better. And I'm like, I mean, I think pastors should tell the truth. And there was not a lot of falsehood in what he said.
100%.
And then when I responded back to somebody, they made a comment about when someone who didn't get the vaccine, everybody makes noise, but when someone dies who got the vaccine, then everybody's quiet. And I was like, that's a false comparison. That's not
apples
this.
And oranges, baby.
I was like, when we talk about people who have taken the vaccine and passed away, they did what they thought was best. They tried to take preventative measures to keep from dying. But people who like Diamond, RIP that sister, but she was definitely misled and misleading people.
100%.
But she was a person who denied it all the way up until the end.
Yeah. And so I'm always, when I heard this news, I'm always torn when situations like this happen, because you know that there were people who loved her and are going to miss her, and so there's a certain level of sympathy that you have
Absolutely.
for the passing of anyone, because someone loved them. They belong to someone.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, because of honestly what you and I do, like, you are paying attention. And by the way, it was Diamond and Silk.
Diamond and Silk.
Yes, but still shout out to Prince with Diamond and Pearls.
Shout out Prince.
But yeah, so on the other side, I'm like, here is this woman who literally like died from the thing that she spent a lot of her time trying to convince wasn't real to other people. And so, yeah, you're
went
right.
on whole campaigns to do it.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, we're not the kind of people who want to glory or bask in the death, imprisonment, incarceration, harm of our black people, because we know that a lot of us are just suffering from post-traumatic slave syndrome.
That's real.
And it is a generational thing in which it passes down. She was just sick in a different way than I was.
Yeah.
So, R.I.P. Diamond. I hate that happening that way.
Yeah, for sure. And always sending love to the family and friends, the people who are going to miss her in their day-to-day lives. So, the TikTok cop lady. So that video going around is fantastic. I had several people send it to me.
So there's a lady, I don't know if you all are aware, but there was a lady who, when she was stopped by this white police officer, she was able to identify him, and not only identify him, but identify his record of stoppages. And I think she said somewhere, she was like, 80% of your stops are black people.
When 20% of the population is black. When
20% of the population is black. Why? And he didn't really have much to say. There was not much rebuttal.
You know what he said? He said, I'm not even on TikTok. That was the only thing he had to say.
That was his best rebuttal.
That's all he had. That was all he had.
Racists don't care about being, they don't care about any of that, because they're locked into being fucking racist.
Yeah.
In my opinion, when we are online and we're going back and forth with these white folks about, the racism that's persisting, we're talking about reparations, when we're having these conversations and all that, and it's like, they're just like, that's so long ago. That's so far in the past. This, that, and the third. It's like, we're just reminded that these invisible hands, i.e. the cop that she was talking about, are still prevalent, are still here, are still doing foul shit. And these same white folks who are going against reparations and talking about how shit is hunky-dory. Hunky-dory.
The irony of that.
They're just not aware of their cousins doing this foul ass shit on the side. So.
Yeah, and they've never had to be aware, because it doesn't impact them. So, like, it's funny, like, even as a kid, I remember telling, like, my mom, like, I actually understand why a lot of white people are the way they are. Like, when you live in a world where the world is your oyster and you've never had any barriers, like, you can't imagine that another group of people are suffering. You're probably not even really paying attention, because it doesn't directly impact you.
It does not.
And so, yeah, like, I'm not that I give them any slack, because as y'all know, if you watch this show, like, we read anybody. Right. Anybody can get it.
Right.
But also understanding that people's lenses shape what they pay attention to, and their experiences shape that lens. And so when I hear people be like, oh no, my experiences with cops have been great. Well, sure. Because your experiences have been great. So why would you ever think that me and Gabe would have a different experience than yours, given that all you've known your whole life is for police to be helpful? My rebuttal to them is this. I was like, a good sign of intelligence is your ability to remove yourself from your shoes and put yourself in the shoes of other people. Yes.
So if you can't do that, if you're just unable to do that, then it might be a respect thing. And truly, you don't respect the people whose experiences you're hearing about.
That's it.
Because maybe you can empathize with non-black people from wherever. Maybe you can identify with white people from different countries and what they're dealing with. Maybe you can 100% feel their pain.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, you can't feel it from us. And that means that it's either, again, you're not intelligent enough, or you're internally, you're just racist yourself. There's no respect. It's something. You
don't even think it necessary to put yourselves in our shoes. No. So you're right. There's a lack of respect there, and just a lack of consideration for our condition. So 100%. All right, so let's get into George Santos and his lying ass and his refusal to step down as a House representative out of New York. So we actually talked about George Santos last week.
Yes.
And more so, we talked about the Speaker of the House vote, but George Santos did come up. But if you haven't been paying attention, y'all, this man is a liar. Like, he has told some pretty egregious lies. I think my favorite is that his mother was a 9/11 terrorist attack survivor.
Yes.
And that she died from cancer a couple years later, only to find out that his mother was alive through 2016. God rest her soul, of course. But yeah, my man is a liar, and whenever he is caught by the media in the chamber or within the House offices,
right,
he has made it clear that he has no plans of stepping down, even though the folks who got him elected and backed him are calling for him to step down.
So not only that, but he's also now being investigated by Brazil. I don't know if we mentioned that last time, but now Brazil would like to have words with him because he had a bad check. Or it was some kind of fugazi shit that he pulled in Brazil. He probably told him that he was related to Pelé, or
some big lie.
Bolsonaro.
Yeah.
He might have been like his cousin or something. He might have, something like that. But what I thought was interesting about this was there is a new law that they're trying to, or it's not a law. It's a specific rule that they're trying to get enacted, and it's actually, the acronym is Santos, and it's like something for non-truths of something. It is a what's that? It's
I love
acronym.
that they named it Santos.
It's named after him, but they're trying to get it pushed to where they can finally like when they run into representatives, congressmen who have a very unethical, questionable background, they can use this to sort of push them out.
Oust them, yeah.
So.
Yeah. I like that because I done an explainer on TikTok, and some of the questions that I got from folks who engaged with the video was, why is there no rule to remove him? And I 100% agreed that at this point, because of like how politics works in the US and like there's this, egregious willingness to do anything to clinch the seat and to clinch the vote and the power, like there should be something where, if the public is made aware that their representative, whoever that, it could be a senator, a representative, a governor, whatever, if the public is made aware that their representative is not worthy to represent them, they should have the power to oust them.
Right.
And right now, there's nothing, which is why really all they can do is ask Santos to resign. There's nothing that the House can do to actually get him out. So I'm actually wondering if he's going to become a figure for the next 2 years of the House of Representatives until 2014, when people are able to vote him out.
It's looking like, yes, he's going to stay.
Yeah.
Again, the leader of the party, the Speaker of the House, who is the leader of their party, he said that until something more concrete that shows that he's breaking the law, he's like, basically lying isn't breaking the law.
Yeah.
Is what he's basically saying. Then and the people voted him in. Mind you, people voted him in under false pretenses.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how valuable that is. It's just interesting, but it just goes to show that the Republican Party is willing to do that. Like, they don't care about your background.
Yeah.
We might get some more calls. They don't care about your background. They don't care about who you are, how unethical you are, because again, we need your vote. We already go back into when Herschel Walker was running, and there were Republican or conservative pundits who said the quiet thing out loud and said that they don't care how many babies he done. I'm paraphrasing, but they don't give a shit how many babies have been aborted.
Yep.
We need that vote.
We need
that
the seat. Yeah.
So
that's real.
That's the mindset that they have. So ain't no telling who else they're gonna push through there.
Yeah. So when we were doing the 7:30 headlines this morning, one thing that came up was, what your mama used to tell you: if you lie, you steal; if you steal, you kill. So I'm pretty sure there is something else out there that George Santos has done that would be breaking the law. I think. By the way, like it was a very tiny newspaper that even broke like the story about his lies. I think it was called the North Shore publication.
Shout out to local news media.
Absolutely, like it is important, and so it goes to show that local news is dying and struggling because no one paid attention to that story. It wasn't until like one of the big kind of corporate owned media sources picked it up that we realized what it was. But yeah, shout out to them. So I'm hoping that those journalists are still on their job and like digging up some shit, because I'm almost certain that if he was willing to tell the slate of lies that he did to get this seat, he's been willing to do other things to get what he wants.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Santos, he might have a whole law named after him for being a liar.
It's an acronym, but I gotta find it.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about Biden's document scandal.
Now, okay, let me say this first of all, because on the other side, on the right side, they're having a field day and saying that he needs to be impeached.
A good time.
We're going to go after him. There are some legitimate differences between what Trump did and what he did.
Absolutely.
Again, the differences. Trump has hundreds of documents, while Biden had, I want to say, they said it was like 10 or 20 documents.
Yeah,
it wasn't as many. Wrong is wrong, though. I mean, shit, whether he forgot that they were in there because of his old age, or whether he purposely had them, wrong is wrong. And to be told, if they both should be prosecuted according to what the law allows.
Yes.
Because I'm pretty sure it's like per document. It's like having one document. I don't think it's like oh, you just have documents, you just get the book thrown at you. I think you get the punishment is according to how many documents you actually have.
Well, an intent for those documents too. So intent is going to be a big thing. So for example, if we're still finding out more about what was found in Biden's 2 offices. So there were 2 different locations where classified documents were found. But the big thing that a lot of legal analysts are saying is, what was the intent of taking these documents? If the intent was, I need to hold this close to the vest because I don't want anyone to find out about some shady deal, then of course, prosecute it to the full extent of the law. But if it was, hey, I took this because, I wanted to reference it for something else or whatever.
This is why he was vice president.
Yes. The other thing that I learned, and this is from a friend who actually works for the government. He works on the Hill. He was saying that a lot of times the basic way that you classify documents is classified, because you will not get in trouble for classifying a document as classified, even if it doesn't need to be, but you will get in trouble if you don't classify a document that should have been classified that way because of sensitive information. So a lot of people, it's almost like working for corporate America, and they have like those email backup things, like what should I say, what I shouldn't. Everybody just saves everything as a just in case. And so he was saying there could be almost nothing in those documents, but they're considered classified because as a just in case, people will put that stamp on it just to cover their asses just in case. So
you're saying that basically these could be documents that are not really serious. They probably just put classified.
Yeah, it could be Jill saying I love you, Joe, but he and whoever, a staffer's head. We mark everything else. Well, shit, we mark everything else classified so we don't get in trouble. So I'm gonna go on and mark this as top secret or classified. Yeah.
And that's why they were, even with the Trump situation, the appointment of a special master was so important, because they needed people to go in there and review the documents to see how serious they were.
Yes.
So hopefully when they review these documents and they can place them side by side, they can kind of, I guess people will see. But truth be told, on the right side, they're going to still see it as, oh, he had classified documents. It don't matter.
The thing is, though, the difference between what happened with Trump and what's happening with Biden is everyone on the right is like, oh, this is unfair. Everyone I have talked to on the left is like, no, Biden should be investigated. If he had classified documents in his...
If he was unauthorized to have these documents or shouldn't have had them for this long,
yes.
However you want to word it, yes.
I'm with somebody when we were on this morning. Somebody had commented like, "Oh, no news about Biden's documents," and I was like, "I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a flex." But as far as this page goes, I've always made it clear that like I believe that no one is above the law.
Absolutely.
Like,
that's what we said. Like, yeah, no.
I don't care if it was Obama. If he was found with classified documents, investigate.
Investigate.
Like, let's see why you had it, what you had, and where those documents ended up. But I think they were just like the right. They were just so gung ho on like, oh, Trump is being treated unfairly. This is standard operating procedure, and they had to raid that house to even because he wouldn't cooperate and turn them over.
Exactly, and that's all he had to do. Because thus far, I haven't seen any non-cooperation from Biden.
Right.
I haven't seen it.
The one thing I can say I'm looking at sideways is the fact that they found these documents before the midterms, and we're just now finding out about it. So that was the one thing that I was just like, okay, that makes you look really bad right there. Because I feel like if you were forthcoming, hey, my bad, y'all, I had some documents in my office that I forgot were there. I would actually look at this like, oh, it happens.
Yeah.
Like, I got a bunch of shit in my house I forget about, but it makes me wonder if they were worried about the timing because the election was coming up. Like, to know that the first batch was found right before midterm elections and we just now found out about it.
Some political shit.
Yeah, it's political for sure, but that's the one thing that gave me pause about the whole situation is like, if you really wanted to set yourself apart from like how Trump handled the situation, you should have just came out and been like, hey, y'all.
Oh, you saying it was probably done for that reason, to make himself look better? Like he pointed it out to... Like help me understand what you mean.
I feel like if Biden had come out as soon as the documents were discovered in his at the University of Pennsylvania office, even though it was right before midterm, like that would have helped him a bit now because when people hear, oh, you knew about this months ago, and we're just now finding out, like it does look like a political game. Like, oh, I didn't want people to know that I had classified documents right before the midterm.
Oh yeah, no, they definitely play them political games, both sides. That makes sense.
So we holding both sides accountable, y'all. Like I said on this show, anybody can get it.
Yeah,
anybody.
Yeah.
Biden too. Investigate his ass as well.
Investigate.
Okay. So this is cool. So there was a Vice article that came out, and really it was comparing, funding for police versus funding cuts for education. And what the article laid out was how this is probably more than likely adding to America's issue with willful ignorance, the growing willful ignorance.
What do you mean, like the fact that we're willing to fund police more than education?
Yeah. So it, what do you call it? Bronze over brains?
Surprise.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that there is a direct correlation between America's willful ignorance and the defunding of education. So I was at a high school earlier today, and I was talking to the kids. Like, I asked them, I was like, hey, do y'all think you're ready for college? Every one of them said, absolutely not. I don't know how to study. We're spoon-fed. The kids know that they're not being educated to the same level of the generation before them or the generation before them.
The interesting thing about that is the fact that I don't think we knew we were until we got there. The fact that they know beforehand is very, very interesting.
It's telling.
We talk about the education system and we talk about America. I think that a lot of times America has this false sense of confidence, but that confidence, the reason why I say it's a false sense of confidence is because that confidence only lies in specific areas. And it's like, we were able to, we beat Britain. We were able to create America. And truth be told, when we talk about like all these white folks, rich white folks who, you know, pass down their wealth, a lot of their children think back on them and it's like, well, granddad worked, great-great-granddad worked 13, 14, 15, 16, 20 hours a day and just worked hard and sweated, and then come to find out he had slaves.
Right.
He was on some bullshit.
Yeah, my parents worked hard,
stole money.
Yeah.
All kind of wild shit. The point is, we don't really know actually what happened back then or even how America got how America was even fully attained, because if we're gonna sit up here and believe the textbooks told us that we should see Thomas Jefferson and George Washington as heroes when they were terrible human beings. So it's just like it benefits the larger system for us to be poorly educated.
100%.
Because again, that's one thing that I think this might be an Orwell quote or something, but he was just talking about like an enemy to capitalism or to the industrial complex is an educated society. I'm paraphrasing that, but that's what they said. That's an enmity to it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yes, that absolutely makes sense, because the more educated we are, the less likely we are to be tolerable of the bullshit.
That's right.
Again, we had a conversation in last podcast about how a lot of millennials, Gen Z, how our generations are getting older and becoming less conservative. So it only makes sense because we're seeing through the bullshit, and that's how we know this shit is gonna get worse, because they're not hiding it. And there's so much history of them doing foul shit, and they haven't figured out other ways to educate us. They haven't figured out other ways to actually to engage us, to actually appeal to our human rights. They haven't figured out those ways yet. They're used to just using violence, lies, and all that. And it's like, when those things don't work, what are y'all gonna do? Y'all haven't developed any other ways.
That's real. And I love that George Orwell quote, because I think he was spot on. You know, the more educated, the more traveled, the more read you become, honestly, the more radical you become. Like, I think it was James Baldwin that said to be conscious and black in America is to be in a constant state of rage, because once you realize, like, you know, how fucked up a lot of this stuff is. Like, I can't, man, it was James Baldwin, my experiences, and like some other friends that made me realize that the quote or the saying ignorance is bliss is really a thing. Because like, once I really became aware, probably in my late teenage years, I was like, yo, it's really hard to walk around thinking everything is rainbows and sunshine once you know what you know and once you've seen what you've seen. And so I look at this and I'm like, maybe the goal really is for Gen Z, because who I was talking to today, I think they're part of Gen Z. High schoolers would be considered Gen Z right now.
I think so.
Okay.
Don't quote us.
I think so, because my nieces are Gen Z. So yeah, like, I'm talking to them, and while they are aware that there's a lot of things wrong, like, they don't know the details. They don't know the why.
They're just aware something about it ain't right.
Yeah. They just like, that's it. Like, I know this isn't right. It doesn't even feel right to me. Like, it doesn't like sit right in their spirit, right?
Right.
But they don't know the why. They don't know the history, and they're not being forced to learn the history. Like, we had a whole conversation about when I was in school, and I went to some of the worst schools in Los Angeles, like some of the most underfunded schools in LAUSD. But even just 15 years ago, there were expectations of students. You knew when you woke up in the morning that, like, I had to put my uniform on. There ain't no free dress unless they tell you. Like, there were just certain things. I knew that if there was a deadline written in that syllabus, that I was going to have to turn that project in or that paper in, lest I lose points and percentages. Now, like, they were literally telling me today that everything is up for negotiation. If I don't make a deadline, my teacher's not going to trip. He's just going to let the whole class have another 2 weeks to complete it. And they're like, they literally said, one girl said to me, we're spoon-fed everything. And so I'm afraid that when I go to college, I won't be able to keep up. I'm like, wow.
This is my last comment to that. A lot of that has to do with the fact that there is no outside support for students. And it's like, teachers who have been trying to, as a former educator myself, teachers have been trying to uphold a certain standard for their students because they know that it is good for them to have certain expectations of, to push them, in that way academically. But the thing about it is there's so much around a lot of the students and what they're dealing with. Like they don't have the resources. They don't have the mental capacity in terms of like, I have so much other things going on in my mind than this paper, this assignment that teachers have been forced to say, you know what, we're not going to become another stressor in your life. So as a result, we just going to dial it back and just try to work with you. And truth be told, that's the way it should be. Yeah. In terms of education, it's more, again, we can argue about that, but what it should be is the place of education should be a place of thoughtfulness, of consideration, of growth. Yeah. That's the main thing, growth. How can we get this? Not meeting deadlines, not can you meet this benchmark, but growth. Yeah. That's the way it should be. But again, the system needs to be completely revamped anyway. So,
and I 100% agree. That's the other thing. So one thing I love about when I spend time on campus is we have discussions and we dive into like root cause analysis. Like why like there was a huge fight on they have a real big issue with fighting on this campus in particular. And so we talked about the why, like, hey, why do y'all think this is happening more and more often? Like, is it mental health? Is it stress? Is it, like lack of accountability because they know the teachers can't touch them and break them up, right? Like what's going on? And so we do have discussions, and I think you're right. So even though I talk about the expectations that were put on us as students when we were in school, that was more rope training, like rigor. It wasn't about critical thinking. It was about put your uniform on, get to school on time, turn your assignments in. We didn't understand the why of a lot of the things that we were learning. As long as we could regurgitate it, we were good. But I would love to see a system that teaches our kids how to think and how to like sit with their thoughts and form opinions based on things that they've read and studied and experienced. Right. And right now that's not what they're getting in school.
Real quickly, I want to brief shout out and RIP to Coach Espy. He was the first one to introduce us to meditation. The whole time we would laugh the whole time and we thought it was weird at first. We was in elementary school and he had us deep breathing exercises and Tai Chi stuff. And we was like, this nigga is weird. But we still did it because it's easy A. But now that I think about it, he knew. R.I.P. Coach Espy.
There are
I'm sorry.
a bunch of studies that show specifically for black boys, like meditation in the classroom is crazy helpful. Yeah. Like I don't know who this man is, but I love him for giving you that gift.
R.I.P. Coach Espy.
That's amazing. Wow.
So, yeah.
All right. This one is just weird, y'all. We fighting over gas stoves in America now.
Yes, we are. The thing about it is, I saw that when I first heard about this, it was a tweet from some Republican, and he was just like, "You can pry my gas stove from my dead cold hands." I'm like, really? Is it that serious? First of all, you ain't really about that. They be talking that shit. They ain't about that.
You gonna fight over a gas stove?
You gonna really fight up? No, you not. You really not, fam. You not. Y'all not finna do that. Like you not.
Look.
Like you not.
Cap.
Big cap. Full of shit. But I mean, the thing about it is, research shows that the gas powered homes, they're more likely to be poisoned. You're more likely to deal with those methane and those specific kinds of gases. All of that, and it is harmful to you. So it's one of the things where it's just like, if we're looking at the Green New Deal, if we're looking at all these provisions that they're trying to set up to keep the world from burning completely, again, if you believe that, we believe that. Yeah. We believe that humans are inducing the warmness that's happening on the earth. The melting ice caps,
the fucking atmospheric rivers in California flooding the state.
All of these things that are happening that historically have never happened. We believe that this is caused by human activity, and truth be told, we need to remove it. We do need to remove it. It's going to be a slow and hard process transferring over, but I think that taking this route of slowly, making those changes is a lot better than what the fuck we may end up dealing with in the future.
Yeah, 100. as someone who grew up on natural gas, and that's what I even at my house now, like
gas
that's
stove. Shout out to the gas
yeah.
stoves.
I have a gas range, and anyone who cooks with gas versus electric, like that things do cook differently. And so if you grow up on gas, like you get used to like the way the heat is managed, and even like baking is very different between like a gas stove and an electric stove. But as someone who has only known gas, like, well, not only, but has known gas the majority of her life, I saw this and I was like, look, if it's going to help us combat some of the shit that we've done to this planet, I'm more than willing to figure out how to bake that whipping cream cake in an electric oven.
And this, truth be told, it's not that hard of a change. Again, coming from where we come from, like,
Figure some shit out.
this ain't shit.
Yeah.
Like, we going from gas to electric, going from a gas stove to electric stove. Yes, cooking might be different. Yes, your food you might have to change how you do things, whatever. But it ain't nothing major.
It ain't bad, y'all.
It ain't nothing major.
Yeah.
And a lot of y'all folks who complaining, y'all can easily afford to get a brand new Frigidaire or
Right.
get a brand new, like, get the fuck out of here.
Shit, you can probably afford the stove that cooks the food for you. So
First of all, we know a lot of y'all conservative, y'all want slaves to cook y'all food anyway. So I'm just
Say that.
saying. I'm just saying, like, y'all don't even
say
want
the
to.
quiet part out loud.
I'm just saying,
Say the
y'all
quiet.
rather be back in the old days anyway. Motherfuckers talk make America great.
But they say barefoot and pregnant.
Barefoot
they
and
want us
pregnant,
barefoot
like
and
we
pregnant.
already know, like y'all don't even y'all want other folks cooking y'all food anyway.
Damn.
But
Yeah.
that's just that part. That's for that little, that side. But yeah, it's something that needs to happen and hopefully will happen before it's too late.
Yeah. I mean, we have been playing around with climate change far too long. And I mean, I'm from Cali, the state that's supposed to be one of the greenest, and even their plans are like 10 years down the line. Like, we want all cars to be electric, all cars sold to be electric in 10 years. Well, there are prominent scientists who are getting arrested in Washington, D.C. for protesting and saying, hey, like, your plan is not aggressive enough. We don't have 10 years. So we do need to make some very serious and like big changes very quickly. And the way we use natural gas, and think about even the way we get natural gas. So you have to drill for oil, and natural gas is a byproduct. And the only reason I know this is because I worked for Semper Energy when I came out of undergrad.
Okay.
But the natural gas is a byproduct of drilling for oil. And so, I mean, not only are we fucking up the earth by like going down to get dinosaur, fossils, but then we have this byproduct, a lot of which is burnt off. I want to also point out because it's hard to store. Like, you have to have like a very specific storage mechanism for natural gas. So most of the time they burn that off. Like, they burn that byproduct off, which just continues to like create emissions and deepen like the hole in the ozone layer. So come on, like, when I hear stuff like this, specifically Republicans talking about prying their gas, that motherfucker probably don't cook anyway. Whoever put that tweet out
He
there.
probably ain't made a motherfucking. He probably ain't cooked a brisket. Probably smoked
water.
a brisket. He probably don't know. He probably, man.
Come on, my guy.
Yeah, they be talking
They gotta
that shit.
pry it out of your
That's what
dead
I'm saying. Like,
hands.
that's the shit. I'll be like, they be saying shit, and you be like,
Okay, if
fuck
that's what you
outta
want.
here.
If that's
all
what
right,
you want.
bro. All right, bro.
We just this gonna be our sign for cap on this show.
Cap. Check in. How are you doing? You want me to go first? You want to go? What you want to do? Go ahead. How are you?
Busy as ever, happier than ever.
Good.
Yes, it was a pretty tiring week, so I'm looking forward to going to get a nap after we wrap this show. And then
Because you gotta get rested for the night.
Yeah, I gotta get rested for the night. I'm going out for Founders Day, but that's not till like 10, so I got a little time. I got a good nap on the way.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good.
And I'm not doing nothing but. Honestly, I might just put this back on and go outside.
We ain't mad at that. I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up tonight. Once I'm
do
done
it.
with my event, I'm pulling up.
We got a table. I think it's under Drika's name. So tell.
Okay.
Tell
Well, shoot.
Steve.
Let me see if I can. Yeah.
We good. No, we good.
I'm gonna see what's up. I'm fine. Now I'm just like, let me know.
We good. So yeah, just trying to be focused on all the things that lead to where we're going and cut all the bullshit out.
That's a fact.
So yeah, back in the gym, back in yoga, back to eating better. I definitely put on my winter fluff from the holidays, but I was eating, y'all. Like, when I go home, my grandma, like, she does it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, it's back to reality now. I gotta shed a couple. But yeah, I'm good. How you feeling?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good. I've had these past few days. I feel like I've been a little bit more busier, but it's been busy with little stuff that I just needed. I just been needing to take care of. Like I had to go to Fort Worth, take my DJ stuff.
Okay.
I've been meaning to buy some Apple stuff. Apple had me in the store all damn afternoon.
You gotta shop online.
I should have. You know what? The golden lesson from this week is this that I learned. I'm appreciative of this lesson. Whenever you are too eager for something, it's gonna be difficult. It's just gonna cause you harm. It's like it's better to have it set up to where, you know what I'm saying, you can just easily just flow right into it and get it. Like if you have a choice to get it today, but it's gonna be some work, but you want it today, it's gonna be problematic. It's gonna be stuff that's gonna pop up. It's gonna be stuff. But if you can be like, I'll forego it until tomorrow or a few more days, you know, it's better that way. So I just realized that that's just a recurring life theme that yesterday reminded me of. So
I saw this video. Somebody had actually sent it to me about like, you know, how successful people they don't try too hard. Like they just kind of focus on the task at hand, like that they know they need to be doing, and the rest kind of comes. So I think that's like, because when you try too hard, you start to create friction. Like all the things that could happen are going. Murphy's Law takes over. When you just kind of let things flow. Like I know I'm gonna get to the Apple Store at some point, or I know I'm gonna have a moment to go on to like the Apple Store website and order what I need. Like that kind of not caring, not trying too hard tends to make things flow easier. That's
an absolute fact. Yeah. And that's what that was a lesson. But overall, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I have a busy weekend ahead of me. It already started yesterday with Black Canvas. Yep. So I'm just trying to get my energy together so I can just knock out this weekend, because I got a lot. This is gonna be one of them weekends, one of the busy weekends.
Okay, no, I mean, and I feel like it's gonna be a ladies' weekend too because of how many Founders Day.
Shout out to all my beautiful ladies. For sure. Delta Sigma Theta today, and then the K's. Shout out to my friends who are K's as well, and they're gonna be doing their thing on Sundays. Right. They invited me out to their tables as well, and I'm like, well, you know, if I go to y'all, I gotta go to.
and don't play, because you already know.
Yeah,
let me find out you at a K party and then pull up on me.
Yeah, so we're going to be showing our support as a black man. I'm going to be showing solidarity.
Yes.
With driving the boat and getting drunk and all of that. Solidarity with my sisters. We're gonna do this. We together. We're gonna be together. I'm just showing my support.
Let me find out you driving the boat tonight.
You know what I'm saying?
We getting 2 bottles.
I'm gonna be in the cut. I'm here for y'all. I'm just here for moral support.
Listen, we spoiling men all night tonight at the Garden.
Look, I'm about to
all night tonight at the Gordon.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Yeah,
we'll wrap this up so we can get
going. What you listening to this week?
Actually, truth be told, this week I have been listening to it's been on some hood trap shit. Okay, my man CEO Trail. Okay, he nice. I've been kind of digging into his catalog. He's an artist from either Louisiana or from Atlanta. Okay, but I really rock with him. I like his music. I like his style. So that's who I've been banging in the trunk. What about you?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm always listening to a plethora of things, but I finally got a chance to listen to J. Carlos's new single.
Oh, shout out to my man J. Carlos. Okay,
and so I stitched it under one of my videos, and I was really happy to just like hear his music. Like he is, I see a very bright future for him, and not only is his music amazing, but he's just like a really nice person. Like every time I interact with him, he's just a humble guy, family man, all of that.
Shout out my man J. Carl. I'm gonna repost this clip right here.
I was hoping to see him last night, but hopefully he was in the lab somewhere, and he either had a new baby or got a new baby on the way or something. So like I was, of course I'm always listening to like a little bit of everything, but if y'all do not know about J. Carlos, he's from Louisiana, but he resides here in Dallas, and I was introduced to him through Black Canvas, which is the beauty of Black Canvas. It's like the dopest R&B poet open mic, and it really gives you LA feel, which is why I was first drawn to it.
And truth be told, where she found out about J. Carlos was via Spotlight. Spotlight is a part of Black Canvas, and the idea of Spotlight came from Jam, which is something that takes place in LA. It's like a whole, it's full circle.
I love it
in that sense.
I love it. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been on, and I don't know. Just go look him up. Like it's very simple. Jay
One of my dogs, one of the most talented dudes. And again, if you like his music, wait till you see him live. Yeah. Wait till you see what he does live.
Nasty.
I'm talking about rapper, singer, talker, shit talker for sure. That's my
but
boy.
then have the nerve to be nice and sweet and like
humble dude.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
He's amazing, y'all.
Yeah.
Watch out for him. We will be rocking with him. Maybe we might have to have him on the show at some point.
We might have him on. So y'all know we finna start doing interviews. We finna start pulling our people in, and so having guests. So we just getting y'all warmed up.
That's right.
So
All right. You got us on the benediction?
I got a benediction. I'm gonna keep it short, but keep it brief. So let me go back to my notes. Actually, I got mother.
Okay, yeah, two phones.
My bad. Let me see. Notes. All right, y'all. So, the number one thing, truth be told, that I really pulled from this is the education aspect, because that story kind of stuck out the most to me. We have to educate ourselves, even when especially in the midst of representatives and people who are telling you one thing but live some completely different. Let's continue to educate ourselves, because they're not going to invest in it. So stay wise, stay smart, keep your ears open, continue to increase your understanding.
That's right. Read, y'all. Like, don't just watch videos. And I know we post a lot of videos and stuff, but like, go read for yourself, go study for yourself, because you'll start realizing that everything that we talk about on this show, all the videos that we post, like a lot of that stuff we get because we read, like we take the time to sit down and like understand, what has happened before us, because history really does repeat itself.
That's
like,
a fact.
That's real. So yeah, if you are not a reader, I wanted to post something, but there was a quote that said, "Read what you love until you love to read."
Man,
and
I never heard that, but I like that. I'm gonna keep that for sure.
Whatever your genre is, if it's self-help books, if it like for me it's dystopian, literature. Like
I fucking love dystopian.
Yeah, like Octavia Butler, that's my George Orwell. When you brought that up, I was like, that's my guy. Like these are my folks that I grew up reading. And so to this day, like I still read a lot of fiction, because these writers in particular talk about political issues and real world issues through fiction. So yeah, figure out what your genre is, and it could be a book every few months, a couple pages a day, but you'd be surprised how quickly you start to connect the dots of the things that you read and the things that you hear and the things that you see. So Gabe, as a educator, I think he would agree that like reading is probably one of the most powerful things you can do for your mind. And after that, I would say traveling. Yeah. So, all right, y'all. Remember to like, follow, subscribe, the Green Route Pod, all of that, and we're gonna catch y'all later. Let's get to this weekend. Hey, all right, love y'all.
Love y'all. Peace.
Sunshine, sunshine, tell me where you are. 'Cause I need you to get me through my life.